Okay. Hi, everybody, and welcome to this incredible worldwide webinar. We've got at the moment, and it's still climbing up, 108 people on the call. So I'm so appreciative of everyone from all over the world. It's 9 p.m. some places, 4 p.m., 4 a.m. But this is the beauty of the internet and online. And you know what? Everything moves. Can you imagine what it would have been like before when you'd call in and things like that? We've got to keep up with the latest technology and AI and things like that. But guess what? Today you're going to hear about, how you can keep up with so much of this that bombards your body and your health so that you can actually move forward and be equipped with the best knowledge possible for your health. So, I want to introduce our two guest speakers this evening. We've got Phillip Hoare, who is in a treehouse in the pitch dark in Bali. And normally he has a beautiful backdrop that's all forest and tropical, but you can't see it. And then we've got the beautiful Patricia Bowerman. Now, Phil is normally the last stop where a lot of people go, you know what, I've tried everything else. He's a transformational autoimmune specialist. And he's literally when people say, I've lost all hope in everything. And he goes, I think I can help you. So, Phil is going to come on and talk to us, but we also have Patricia Bowerman, my beautiful friend who's American over in the UK living. And I got to spend time with Patricia in April. I was in her house. I looked at that library and my brain had a brain freeze because this woman is so geeky and so science. She loves it. She just dives into all of this. And I want you to explain, Patricia, what happened, where you went recently. Because look, I'm just going to put it out there. This lady's 74 years of age. She's a power rocket. She is so on fire for science and so on fire for understanding and getting to the root cause because she's going nowhere soon. The only way she's going is up, and that's not quite to heaven just yet. She wants to stay as young as possible for as long as possible. So tell them where you went recently and why you went there and who was there, please, Patricia.
Well, thank you, Grania. Well, so Dr. Judy Mikovits, I mean, she was in the flyer, so you might have a clue there. I've been following her for many years for many reasons. And when a friend told me that Dr. Judy Mikovits was going to be speaking in Torino, Italy, and I love Italy, any excuse, I just knew I had to be there. So best thing I've ever done. You're muted, Grania.
So who was there? Was it just ordinary folks like you, or who was in the audience?
No, it wasn't the general public. It was all practitioners of some sort. I'm a wellness coach, so there were all manner, and the speakers, 2 days worth of speakers. Um, and this was hosted by the Klinghardt Institute, if you're familiar with Dietrich Klinghardt. So this is high level stuff, high level stuff.
So, Dr. Judy Mikovits, tell me what happened and what did she explain?
Well, she was speaking on the second day, and she was gracious enough or curious enough to come along for the whole of the first day as well. I thought there were going to be about 1,000 people at this event, and it was under 100, probably about 80 of us, not including the speakers. So it was very intimate and lots of chatty time with Judy Mikovits. I say a mutual friend. That sounds a bit grandiose, but a mutual friend introduced us, and loads of chats about all sorts of stuff. But when she was speaking,
On
her talk was
stage?
on stage, front of the room. Her focus was on inflammation and root causes of disease. She's a microbiologist, a virologist, a biochemist. She's formulated all manner of things and tested everything on the planet. But anyway, um, she's talking away, promoting her product, and just delving into the deep, deep science of why we get ill and all that stuff. And all of a sudden she says protandem. And I did this brain rewind to hear again what precipitated her to say protandem. I was shocked out of my seat. When she finished speaking, I went up to her and said, "You said protandem." She said, "Yes, nuclear erythroid factor 2, blah, 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 blah," if you've ever heard her talk. So when she paused to inhale, I said, "I know, I've been on it 15 years. She said, "Oh, what do you think?" So I went, blah, 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 my experiences. And knowing that she was there to promote her product, I just said, is there anything better than Protandim? Because it's been around for more than 15 years, and the science is moving on daily at a rapid pace. So I just asked her, and she said, Protandim is the foundation for everything else to build on to work better. Exact words, exact hand gestures.
So Protandem
The
foundation,
foundation for everything else to build on.
every other supplement, product, medicate, everything.
Lifestyle, you know, everything else that we do to work better.
Wow.
And we've been saying that for a long, long time because we know we have the published peer-reviewed studies to back that up. We know we have the patents to back that up. But my gosh, when Dr. Judy Mikovits looks you in the eye and says that, that's just gold.
And she's not a consultant. She's not anything to do
I
with LifeVantage.
I
She just
I
said
don't
it as
know.
it is. Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you, Patricia, so much. Before I get started with Phil, if you're a customer or a guest, I want to welcome you, but we want you to have a chance to win a month's worth of this, which we're going to dive deep into. Could you please put your name and surname in the actual chat? And we're going to be spinning a wheel at the end. So, Phil, over to you. Foundation. What does this mean that Protandem is the foundation that you build upon? Can you explain this to us in simple terms for us people that aren't science geeks? I need a
I love
simple
this.
explanation.
I love this. I've been told to speak slower. I'm known as talky talk and I speak fast. I say just listen faster. Okay. But I will definitely gonna slow down. The foundation is basically, I like to say, it's like a house. You get that foundation solid, there is the walls, doors, and windows can actually then open and close properly. But the best thing I'm going to do, because I'm mindful of time, I've got some slides I want to go through and I've got nice
Beautiful.
images and graphics and stuff. So let me go into that straight away and I'll share my
Thank you.
screen and give me 1 second. If you can give me a thumbs up. I see Grania. Yeah, cool. You can see it. Okay, awesome. Okay. I want to talk about something that no one's talking about. Yeah, the pathway. One of the detoxing pathways. And the other thing I like to talk about here, how to 18x your journey to wellness. And it's a bit of like, oh, what do you mean by that? I'm going to talk about that later on. Why she mentioned about Protandim. And the lastly here, who wants to invest in the health? But it's not like another thing we've got to take. What if we could do something that can possibly replace other things and at the same time save you some money? So let's step outside the box. This cat, think about it. If that cat just stayed there and looked the same way all day, it's not going to jump out there. So if it looked left and right, it's going to make a decision to go, hang on, I can get out there. But us humans, we love to just look for the hard. I don't know why. I see this so often with the clients I work with, but there must be an easy solution. And this is what we're going to share today. We spoke about the house, the foundation, something you cannot see. We don't look at it because when we buy a house, what do? We look at the kitchen, the windows, the doors, the man shed, all those things. But no one's looking at the foundation. So if your house is built on sand that's not solid, this is what can happen. And in worst case scenarios, it can even get worse again. But now think about this here. Your body is your only permanent place of residence. You can sell this house and move out, off you go, perfect. But you are going along. You, that shadow that follows you, that's your health. You've got to understand. So you've got to make sure, they call it your temple, which is you. Got to keep it healthy and strong so you don't have a house that's basically got weak foundations. Put a 1 in the chat here if you know someone who has got loads and loads of supplements in their cupboards. If that's you, that's all right. Put a 2 in as well. But what happens now, I have seen so many people that are taking heaps of things. And honestly, I was actually on a call a couple of days ago, and I got 9 photos from a client of mine who's actually taking more than this. insane. But you know what's going on there? The person simply feel my body's inflamed, they don't know what to do. And I gave them a solution. But the thing is here, how many people have got taking heaps of these things and they still are unwell? Now, just remember, there are places for these things. We're just going to find an easy way because let's be honest, if you look at it from the science perspective, trying to take and consume heaps and heaps of things, what's going to happen? Your liver and your kidneys can't handle that. Got to find a way to take less, but still be more effective. We talk about oxidative stress. Now, the easiest way I like to look at this here, if there's an apple, you put the apple on the counter, it's going to go rotten eventually and break down. Free radicals are going to attack it, and eventually the thing's going to just break down. And that's basically oxidative stress, which Patricia mentioned that Judy was saying at least comes back to inflammation. So inflammation of a time and distance leads to something called oxidative stress. And we're all going to get there, eventually get there and go 6 feet under. But let's rather slow it down and pull out the handbrake. And that's what I feel Protandim is a great base to start from. You can go to PubMed if you're one of those guys who wanted to go all geeky and sciencey and go and research this. And this is what I did when I first looked at Protandim. I typed in oxidative stress and a health challenge I was dealing with, and I saw a link, and I go, "Hang on, this makes perfect sense. There's a link here. So let's just get onto the product." Now, the National Institute of Health is NIH. This website is PubMed.gov. There's about 39 million medical citations on it. There's such a small amount of oxidative stress, and you can see since 1960 nothing was happening. Now the trend is happening here. So everybody's talking about inflammation and oxidative stress, and the science is great, and you go into all these podcasts and what have you, but no one's coming with a possible solution. This is where I feel NRF2 activation really, really works. And you can look at all those diseases there that are linked there. Everything is linked to free radical damage and oxidative stress. And I say to my clients, I say this all the time, there's about 11, 12 body systems. There's 11 or 12 formulas to heal those challenges, health challenges. They're all underlying, which is mitochondrial dysfunction and inflammation and oxidative stress. Doesn't it make sense to do something super simple and not chase the hard? Now let's look at supplementation. Think about this. That phone, everybody, we all are a little bit older nowadays. We don't have iPhones, they didn't have iPhones then, but now we have iPhones. So think of it like this. Supplementation is doing one thing. If you lack vitamin C, yes, please take vitamin C. You don't have scurvy, right? But then what happens if you take too much of it, it can be toxic, right? Then you can actually be more detrimental to you. So even when you look at your bloods, for example, you can go there and say, I'm short in, let's say, vitamin B, and you take vitamin B, and then next month you're taking too much, you test your blood again, it's oh my gosh, it's way off the charts, I need to stop. But then when it comes to activation, activation regulates what you need at any given time. So if your body needs to make more antioxidants, like they say vitamin C, for example, guess what happens? It goes, hang on, we're going to turn that dial up. Okay, don't need so much, it's going to turn it down. So it regulates it at when it needs to. So the chances of you getting a toxic issue when being activated is extremely, extremely, very, very rare. Taking supplements can do the opposite. So it can be highly toxic when you're taking too much. Let's look at the pathways. Now, there's pharmacogenomics, which basically is pharmaceuticals. Now, when we got a major, major health crisis, please take them. We do need them. We need to honor both of them. And the other side, you got nutrigenomics, which is with the activators from your supplementation, you can call it data activation. These two work both hand in hand. Whichever one you choose one, but also you got to choose both of them. This is what I see many clients that rather move from this side, from the left-hand side to the right-hand side. So they all have their place. But when it comes to activators, the company that we're talking about is Life Energy, we mentioned before. The one product in the middle there, you can see the little blue bottle there, is Protandim. There are so many more here, but we could spend hours and hours talking about individually each one of them. But if I look at it like this, there's NRF2, there's NRF1 to deal with the mitochondria. They've got a skincare range as well. They've even got shampoo. I say to people, let's get NRF2 activated from the inside and the outside so you're in the sexy NRF2 bubble. But let's talk about getting activated on the inside NRF2. This is a slide that could take months and months to talk about. But the one thing I said here, look at the bottom there. Practical tip. Your own antioxidants are more than 1 million times more powerful than any supplement you can take. Just let that sink a minute. 1, 2 seconds. Basically, you've activated 2 million within your body. This is powerful. So there was one of the ladies on the medical advisory board for Life Energy. She was saying that Protandim does a function of between 80 to 100 supplements. Which would you rather take? And also, it's less impact on your liver and your kidneys to try to break these things down. When I saw this study, I'm one of those people who are so skeptical. It's like, yeah, whatever, I don't believe this. So I actually found the study and I read it. And what's interesting here, when I first looked at it, they spoke about certain foods that activate the body. And actually, broccoli is one of them. When I just think about this, most people can't even handle broccoli. So when you can get anywhere to activate a broccoli, certain other foods, sweet potatoes is another one, omega-3s is another one. There's no ways you could take so much of it. So when you actually look at it here, if you want to try to take all these foods in one go to try get your body to be activated, good luck. I mean, let's be honest, if you did have all those blueberries, you'd actually go blue and look like Papa Smith. It's not going to happen. So, and if you have so many oranges, which I've actually eaten heaps of oranges one day, trust me, the next day, not a healthy sight to be involved around. But now, what happens, what they did, they took a study. People without Protandim, they weren't taking it, the red line. They took people between 20 and 80 years old, gave them one pill once a day for 30 days, and tested their blood afterwards. They couldn't differentiate whose blood was whose. Now, if you're 80, you'll notice if you're going to get a drop from 80 to a lot lower here, you're going to see a big difference. Some people who are 30, 40 years old may not notice anything. The trick here is that I'd rather do something that's more preventative than go, oh, hang on, here comes an issue. Let's do it later. So people who don't notice anything, that's a good thing, but you're still keeping the levels on the low side here. And the other thing I want to share with you is that when you do take Protandim, your body takes about 120 days to replicate or duplicate your red cells. That's sometimes when the magic happens. So if it takes us a 1 month or 1 day or 2 days, say it's not working, please be patient. We're not in for instant gratification. So here, the longer you're on it, and I can honestly, you can, if anyone's in this chat here, put in a 3 if you've been on Protandim and will never come off of it.
Oh.
Or
This is
actually,
gold.
Phil, could you, if you've been on Protandim, could you please put in the chat how long you've been on it and what it's actually done for your family or for yourself or your dog or your horse? Just put
That's
it in
true.
the chat while we keep listening to Phil.
When I looked at Protandim here, it lowers oxidative stress by an average of 40% in 30 days. That is gold. Now, the one we're going to talk about here is glutathione, and I'm going to let Patricia touch on that later on. But if I look at it here, it increases superoxide dismutase and catalase glutathione. That is not in Protandim. It's actually getting your body to make it on its own. That's the trick here. And even superoxide is one of the most damaging free radicals that damages our bodies and our cells. But if you look at the ingredients here, there's 5 of them there. I've had people say to me, Phil, I can take all the turmeric I want to, green tea and all the rest of it. I said, yeah, turmeric's going to make your teeth go orange and you're going to look like a carrot if you take so much anyway to try activate your body. So it doesn't make any sense. So when I look at the ingredients, they've actually done some studies where they've taken the ingredients individually, but look at their work here. Way more effective with Protandim. Remember I said early on, 80x your journey to wellness? This is a really, really gold nugget. So when I looked at this makes perfect sense. And let's be honest, you don't be traveling and run around buckets of turmeric or what have you. It's impossible to do that. Besides, customs won't let you go anywhere. But taking Protandim, so much easier when you're traveling. And I'm going to hand it now over to Patricia.
Oh, thanks, Phil. So I get to do the fun part. One of my favorite aspects about Protandim is its glutathione production. And so you can see down the bottom of this slide, Phil's slide from Free Radical Biology and Medicine, there we go, that it increases the levels of total glutathione. So you've probably heard of glutathione. Maybe you're not quite sure what it is or what it does. Maybe you even take it as a supplement. But glutathione is our body's master antioxidant. Our body makes glutathione, and it's our front line of defense. It's always looking out for bad bacteria, bad viruses, abnormal cell division, and a Japanese doctor described it like sticky flypaper. So when it sees an abnormality, it sticks to it and chucks it out of our cell. But the real genius, it goes back and repairs the damage. Nothing else does that. So it's detoxing EMFs and heavy metals and graphene oxide and rubbish from our food, glyphosate, all sorts of things, stuff in the air, the sky, whatever. 24/7. It's watching for those things and kicking them out and going back and repair the damage. And Phil alluded to our cells renewing. So now, well, our cells are like a Xerox machine. They can only make a copy of whatever condition that cell is in at the time. So after being on Protandim and having our glutathione cleaning everything up, now as your cells start to replicate, you're making copies of healthy cells. Now, since disease begins in the cell, doesn't it make sense to detox inside the cells first? So detox is no longer just an event. Detox is a lifestyle now. No detox tea or detox spa can match Protandim's boost of our internal glutathione production. And so many preparations detox around the cell or the surface of the cell, but glutathione gets deep into the cell. And NAC, which you may have heard of, it's becoming popular, it's just a precursor. So if you're low on glutathione, a precursor isn't going to really boost it. And many, many current diseases are linked to low levels of glutathione. So when your body's making something internally, that's where you get this thermostat effect, because your body knows how much to make and when, and it's not going to make too much when you give it the right tools, and it's not going to leave you deficient either. So what it's going to do for you today might be different from what it did yesterday, and it's going to be different from what it's doing for me, because everybody is different. So here we have our glutathione production boosted nearly 4 times. It says 2 to 3 fold, so it's actually up to 3.9 fold increase after Protandim. And that's not day one. It's a process. It's a cleanup and repair process. And you can take glutathione as a supplement, but that's going to be synthetic. And it might be pro-oxidant when you're wanting the antioxidant effect. You can get a 10 to 40% increase in glutathione supplementation, but activating our body's internal production of glutathione is nearly 4 times, as it says here in the study. And that's 24/7. So with the supplement, its effects might last, 2 to 4 hours. But remember that our body repairs the most when we're sleeping. So our internal production of glutathione is still powerful even when we're sleeping. It hasn't run out. And Protandim does so much more. It also regulates other internal antioxidants, and it regulates hundreds of our genes, such as our inflammatory genes, fibrotic genes, genes in the colon and the heart, genes all over our body. It even is associated with Alzheimer's genes, hundreds and hundreds of them. So Dr. Mikovits understands better than most and recognizes Protandim's functions, make it the foundation for addressing the root cause of diseases we're facing today. So when we give our body what it understands, it can do what it's designed to do. So over to you, Phil. Thank you.
I love it. I know you could talk hours and hours on
Hours,
glutathione.
hours.
Yeah, so we
If
spend
anybody
so much
wants to know
time.
more,
I love it. But yeah, so glad you made it concise, which is awesome. So let's just move on here forward. Now, for me, when I look at anything, I always chase the science. And LifeVantage have got 7 USA patents on the actual product itself, and there's actually 13 internationally. But the first 6 of the USA, they all speak about inflammation, oxidative stress in the mammal. That's why I give it to your pets, dogs, chickens, and what have you. I can give it to my cat. But the thing is, what got my attention more than anything else here was this next patent here. It helps reduce C-reactive protein. Now, for those of you who don't know what CRP is, basically, it's a sign of tissue damage. For example, somebody has a heart attack, the CRP goes up. You break your arm, your CRP goes up, then it comes down again. But the problem is, when you deal with the inflammation all day, every day, more and more free radical damage, CRP can go high as well. CRP is just one of about 6 or 7 inflammation markers you can look in your blood work. So when I saw this makes so much sense to me. I've had clients come on it, and I've watched the CRP levels go from 20 to 30, which the range should be between 0 and 10. They've dropped to under 5. So I witnessed this. To me, when it's a patent, it means this is what can possibly happen. So it's pretty gold when you actually look at the patents. Now, what is NRF2? I mean, you can go to PubMed, like I mentioned before. You can type in here. You can see there's 36,000 studies. Type in NRF2 and a particular health challenge, and that there will be less. So you'll find there's a link there. If you don't find it there, because they may not even have studies on it, go back to type in oxidative stress to put the health condition. You'll find a link there. And you can see here that there between 1989 and now, there's been more and more studies on it. That's why Judy Mikovits mentioned it. And there's so many practitioners and doctors and health coaches I speak to, they don't know what is NRF2. Interesting. Very, very interesting here. But let's go into the fun side of it, what I like talking about. How does NRF2 actually work? And so for those of you, you've got a cell, that's you, you're a mammal. And basically free radical damage is, remember the ghosties from Pac-Man? Those four little dudes are the free radicals. Now what happens here, they cause inflammation and they get stuck in the cell wall. Now essentially what happens, this is a natural process in the body. NRF2 comes along the protein within the body, bangs the nucleus's door, which is the CEO of the cell, and says, here, we need to produce some antioxidants. Okay, and off we go. There's Pac-Man, done. Now that's a normal situation, what we are doing all day, every day. 200-300 years ago, this was working perfectly fine, but now, I mean, I know Patricia says to me, there's about 300,000 chemicals that we get impacted every day with. Now, that is because this was happening, right? So now how does Protandim actually work? So the world is toxic, there's free radical damage, more inflammation is happening, and it goes on and on. Inflammation increases, oxidative stress happens, and before you know it, now we're sitting with all these health challenges. Now we don't know what to do. Now, this is the beauty of Protandim NRF2. It sends a signal to the NRF2 protein, bangs on the nucleus's door and says, yo, we've got way too much inflammation in the house today. Can you please make some more antioxidants? So what does it do? Let's make some more Pac-Man. And they gobble up their free radicals. And over time and distance, you start seeing inflammation coming down and down and down. This is why it takes time. This is not about instant gratification. This is not an energy drink, right? It's like, oh, great, I can feel it. This takes time. Because Protandim, what I like about it, it'll go where it needs to go, where it needs the help first. So for example, if you've got a sore toe, you want to take this and you want to try to deal with the discomfort of a sore toe, but you might have a gut issue. It'll go there first. So don't always look for the thing you want to get better initially. They'll happen in time. So that is essentially how Protandim actually works. And therefore, what happens here? You go back to the simple side of it. That is your maintenance. I will not stop ever taking this Protandim NRF2 because this is my maintenance to try to deal with the free radical damage. And you'll have it anywhere in the world, whether you live in the mountains of Bali or the Himalayan mountains or anywhere, you're still dealing with free radical damage. So that there is a maintenance you want to be on all day, every day. So I'm going to hand it back to Grania.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much at 5 o'clock in the morning and at 9:30 at night for giving all of us this information. We're just going to show a tiny clip. Now, if any of you have actually seen this video, the ABC investigative report, or if this was what actually was the thing that you were like, oh my gosh, I have to be on this product, because that's what I saw 10 years ago. This is a tiny excerpt. Drop a one in the chat if you've seen this video, the full version. But can you just show the little version that changed my life?
Will do. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear the volume, okay?
Yep.
And so, ancient Eastern healing and modern Western medicine may soon be working together. High oxidative stress is associated with more than aging. It's been linked to hundreds of illnesses.
It's at the very center of many diseases: liver disease, diabetes, emphysema, asthma. I've studied all of these: strokes, heart attacks.
Even mental disease.
Yes.
Depression?
Alzheimer's disease, depression. But we do know that oxidative stress is part of those disease processes. I don't want to wait until I'm 80 years old and find out that I should have taken it.
When that scientist said, I don't want to wait until I'm 80 years old until I take it, I was 48 at the time. I look younger now. I'm ready for the gym. I work out 6 days a week. My husband's 59. At 50, he was told he was never going to be able to play football anymore due to his autoimmune. He's 59. He plays. He works out in the gym every night. We don't need to get old and have old age things happening to our body. We can stay younger because now we know the secret to youth. And it's taking this, getting to the root cause, and being able to live longer and have a healthier life. That there's no price that you can put on it. So I want to show you the price and find out what is your investment in your health, because this price hasn't really gone up much in the 10 years I've been taking it. We've tried to keep pretending at such an affordable, and that's why I joined the company 10 years ago, because I went, I'm sick of paying a fortune for things. I want something that everyone in my family can be on. My daughter is in childcare. She doesn't get sick. My husband, as I said, is still playing football. I'm taking this and I work out 6 days a week. So you check what country you're in and see, can you afford this? Can you afford it for your family? You can buy three. Look, I've got a lady that buys 30. You can buy it in a pack. She buys 30 for her horses, dogs, and her family every 3 months. So I just want to say to you, can you afford it? I can't afford not to be on this. My family can't afford not to be. And when people say, well, I might try it for a month, I'm like, don't bother. It's a month for every decade you're on Earth. So if you're 10 years of age, okay. But if you're not, give it time. The longer you've been on it, in that chat, if you check and see how long people have been on it, we've got 10 years, 12 years, 13 years. I've just seen something in that chat that's blown my mind, that somebody, the results that they have. So I just want to say to you, you know, get your family in this on this product. That's what we're here. We're here about this product. So, where to from here? If we've all got customer groups, get in touch with the person that recommended you to come on here and get onto the customer group. Read everyone else's testimonials and find out more about this product and how you can actually get it into your body. It's one a day. If my husband, my mother, everyone can do it, you can do it. I would be getting started. Get started as a customer, or you might be like, you know what? Every cell in my body is shaking now. And that's what happened to me 10 years ago. And I was like, I got to get the word out there. And 10 years ago, we brought it into Australia, and thousands of people's lives have been impacted because of this. So if you're somebody that you're getting stirred, going, I've got to get the word out there too, get back to the person that recommended you. I would advise, if you haven't seen the ABC investigative report, watch it. It's amazing. So for the recording, I want to thank everybody that's been on. And I'm going to stop the recording and then we're going to spin the wheel, because I'm mindful of time. So thank you so much, everybody that's been on.